Anyhow, as I was saying earlier, we were talking about the election cycle for city council. It'll be the first time they go into the areas, and it's an irritant to me because, again, as I said to you earlier, you want the whole city, just like I want the whole school district to be able to vote for the people who are going to be lording over their kids, if you would. But it is election cycle time, and Patrick Gipson joins us. He's a candidate for Assembly District 40. Yeah, we have, what do we have, like 60 some odd assembly districts, don't we?
80.
80?
80.
I must have been in a coma. I lost 20.
It's a lot of districts.
Yeah, anyhow. But,
Well, it got smaller because we lost population.
Wait, and that's smaller.
yeah.
So there were more districts.
Yeah. So,
Oh man.
and we're probably going to lose some more here at the rate we're
That's what
going.
it looks
but,
like.
But Patrick joins us. He's taking on Pilar Shivo.
Yep, that's
And-
her.
And I've through her office, and then we'll keep inviting her to come on and discuss some of the issues. So, but Patrick, first of all, I'm just going to hit it real blunt. I mean, talk about a minority. You would be really in the minority at the state level should you get elected. And what are some of the things you'd like to see?
Well, you're
like to
right.
do
It's definitely
and
a
how would you
minority.
do it?
Well, definitely minority. 80, like I said, there's 80 representatives for a state assembly, and there's 18 Republicans, 62 Democrats, so that's what gives us our supermajority. So, yeah, when I get up there, I got to work with these people. I got to make sure that we can get things done. Having the race that I'm in right now, it's one of for Republican side, it's 6 target races, and I'm number 2. And this is a race that they're looking at real closely, and everything I do, trust me, even Pilar's side, they're looking at everything I do and whatever I say, and if they got to turn it around against me, they'll do it, because they have nothing else that they could do. So
Well, there's nothing actually to build on right now. We're in a world of hurt in the state. But
Completely.
again, back to you being up there and being in the minority. I know it's nice to say we can play nice together, but what do you think? Pick one thing that you think you might be able to make some movement on, because right now, even with some of the new bills that were coming out, the legislature popped up and said, "Well, wait a minute, we're going to combat this."
Oh, that's 47.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think I would be able to really lend my brain in that aspect since I've seen it firsthand. And most of those guys up there have to rely on somebody else, somebody else's research and development to know, hey, this is what's going on. No, I've seen it personally that when you see crime out there, a lot of times it's happening because of their drug addiction. So these homeless population, they're not homeless because they just can't get into a house. It's by choice. And when I was out in the streets in sheriff's department, I did 24 years. These guys were heavily addicted to the drugs that they were on, and they did not want to come off the street. So they call them housing resistant. Well, I mean, obviously drugs, fentanyl and all the other, hard ones, meth, cocaine, you can't get off by yourself. It's an act of God to get off those things because it's very, very hard. So when you're addicted, you will do anything and everything to stay high, to get those drugs, because your first high is never going to be as high as your first high. So they're chasing. So that's why they call it chasing that dragon. And when people don't understand it, like my opponent, Pilar, she has no idea what that means and why people stay out there. I was homeless for a little bit myself growing up. And so it's in, you have to have that experience to go, hey, yeah, I get it. I know what it is. We can help, but, there's got to be a lot that we have to do at 47. And then attacking it head on is the only way to really solve it. You can't tiptoe around it or tap around it because it doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes people don't realize that these addicts also, they're looking for that next high, and sometimes this is where it gets a little sad, where it's like they need the high, but at the same time they don't want to get high, but they need it. Otherwise, their body's going to go into that withdrawal, and it's like it's that vicious cycle of like, it makes me feel bad, but I feel worse not on it.
Oh, trust me, I've had one cousin already die about 2 years ago now. They found her in an encampment in Hollywood in a tent with a needle up her arm. She died right there from fentanyl overdose.
Wow.
Now it attacks our family, and it's everywhere. And I have another family member who's currently addicted out in the streets right now too. So how do you take care of them? Just go do more housing, because I know what Pilar said. There's not enough housing, here to do it. It's not the housing. It's the rehabilitation centers. It's the drug rehab centers. It's the mental health issues. That's what we really need to attack. And then on top of that, it's the ones that are providing it. And that's what the new bill is coming out with 47 is like, oh, well, if you do it, you knowingly sell it or whatever, then you can be charged, So it's kind of like they're tiptoeing into this world of consequences. And, when we grew up with consequences, you got a good spanking or something, but it helped, so you do need that.
It was a little, I hate to use the word, it's a little progressive, because at one point in time, they just threw drug addicts into jail. There was no rehab, there was no help, there was no anything. Mm-hmm. And then finally some people came to their senses and said, okay, wait a minute, these people are actually physically addicted to this drug.
Oh, completely.
So let's try to help them get off of that. To let them do whatever they want to do. Let's put up booths in San Francisco where they can actually go in and shoot up in private, because we don't want them to be embarrassed by using a needle in public.
I don't think they care.
Oh, I'm sure that's helping them.
No, they
don't care.
Doesn't matter. They're gonna get the drug and they're gonna shoot it up.
But Benji,
no
it is
what.
helping them, because now at least they have clean needles.
I mean,
that was the
have
argument.
you guys anyone ever met a drug addict? I've met.
Who got off the drugs by
them.
taking more drugs?
Yeah, exactly. Right. These guys don't care as long as they get it in them. And in the worst state they're in, they don't care. They will do everything and anything to get it. So it's difficult, to get in that world.
And again, going up there in the minority, if you would, I know that Suzette Balladares has talked about being part of the Problem Solvers Caucus.
Correct. Right.
You familiar with that?
Yes, definitely.
And that's where people from both sides of the aisle actually coming together and trying to make some changes.
Right. I love how they call it the Problem Solver Caucus. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen the problems being solved from that caucus, because you have to actually work together and vote together in a nonpartisan way, and they're not doing that either. So that's one of the things. That's great. It's a good idea, but we're not seeing the results from that, where we should be taking care of our people out in the streets, because they are dying, and they're going to continue to die until the Supreme Court came out. It's like, look, you leave them out in the streets, it's danger to them. Yeah. So that just did a 180 for LA City and everywhere else in the world who has a homeless population, mainly LA. And we have to do something for them, because if we don't, a lot of people say, well, put them on an island, do something with them. That doesn't work.
No,
because you don't have any compassion at that point. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of work, but I think working with the other side, and then not just working with the other side, you have to get into the hearts and minds of people. So when they know that is happening, you have to reach out to them and get their support to get these things passed. Just like Senator Shannon Grove with the child trafficking bill. At first that one didn't go through either, but they went, oh, well, you know what, that one's hitting really hard here. We have to do something. I grew up in Santa Clarita, raised in the Valley as well, born in Granada Hills. So I'm a product of my environment here. So I didn't get to, I didn't get in trouble, do all those things, which is what led me to get into the sheriff's department. So I did that in 1999. I graduated, and I went into a world of law enforcement, and I was the first in my family to do so. So it was really interesting to see all of the things that happened. I would see some of my neighbors when I started working in the jails, and so it's something that if you've never done it before, it's really interesting. It's a strange thing where you get to see people at their lowest, but however you get to help them as well. So that's one of the great things that I liked about law enforcement. Retired since last August. It was a fulfilling career. I got a lot out of it. So this is why I'm also able to have
24 years?
24 years, yes.
Did you start when you were 12?
Well, they had that program. No. Started when I was like 27.
God.
I do have to ask, where did you graduate from for high school?
Sylmar.
Sylmar.
High.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm Kennedy over here.
Oh, I went to Kennedy for my driving course class that they used to have.
Yeah, I think they had, it became like an after school thing for me.
Yeah,
For my years. But all right, there you go.
It was good.
All we need is more money to the schools, and we can bring back driving class.
Well, all those housing projects that aren't housing people. So
I think Joe's trying to hint something at you there.
Yeah, I mean, you head out there. I can think of
get
other
it.
places. Let me see. We have a bullet train that started off at what, $33 billion supposed to be public-private, and now we're up well over $100 billion bucks, and
well, yeah.
we haven't got a connected piece of track anywhere.
Wow. I mean, that's the.
But where's the money, Joe?
Oh, definitely didn't go to the rail. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
ask what's his name, Governor Suntan. Find out where his.
I like that one.
I just saw a picture of him just the other day. With he's got the grays going on there, looking kind of stately, but he's got like really, he's suntanned. So that's
Well,
all.
yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Anyhow, so again, let me ask you quickly that some of the issues you plan on hitting when you get on there, things that you think you can make a difference on. It's one of the things I ask. Again, most of the Republicans that come on the show or that I talk to, it's great that you want to run. It's great that you want to be up there. Not that we should give up, but how are you going to make those changes? What makes you think you're going to make a difference?
I think enough people are they've had it. They've completely had it, especially in their, San Fernando Valley, where you have burglary up like over 80%, which I think is probably low because people aren't even reporting it. So you're probably looking more in the 200% range. And this isn't Republicans getting broken into. This is everybody. It's a nonpartisan issue. And if enough people are, they're pissed off, what are you going to do? You're going to vote accordingly. And I think that is what pushes a lot of these other people that are in the state legislature that aren't worried about it, and they think crime is going down. They take the Gascon approach. We all, know how Gascon is doing right there. We're definitely, not seeing anything with the smash and grabs going down. That's why we need to, Prop 47. And what's happening up in Sacramento right now, they're trying to, push back on with their own initiative. And that's not going to work either because you can't put a Band-Aid on an arterial bleed. It doesn't work. You need to solve the problem and get it done. So
Yeah, and again, the money for the homeless, a lot of that money should be going to your point, mental health issues going towards. We've got a lot of veterans, Cal vets that are sleeping in the streets. They need. You were talking about this earlier. They need medical care. They need more medical care than they do. They need housing, yes, but the point is you can stick them in some place. What Los Angeles spent almost $600,000 per unit that they took from a hotel, and it really has made absolutely no difference whatsoever.
well, it's making those developers rich, and the what is it? The other organizations you have a lot of them that are counting the homeless, but are we really doing anything to stop it? To get them that help? No, they're not. And that's one of the reasons why I think that people have had enough. They see that their cars get broken into, and they're wondering, when is this going to stop? It stops, and it will stop until you make that right decision and vote accordingly. And it's not voting for Democrats, Republicans. It's voting your common sense. What makes it work and what makes it stop? And that's where I come in. I don't need to do any of this. I'm retired. But I have to do it because there's a future for my kids here, and I won't stop. There's my children, their children, and it's just one of those things that it hits me hard enough where I'm like, yeah, let's do something about it. And that's why I'm doing it. I have no other choice.
Yeah, LA City, it's funny, they can't account for $27 million of homeless funds they received. They can't give you an accounting for that, where it went, what it went to, and how it was used.
I think they know. They just don't want to say it because they know that if they say where it was spent, they're going to go, well, it's not working there. Let's take that funds. Let's take those monies out of that area and place it somewhere else. But they're making money. These nonprofits are heavy, with the administrative side, and they're making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. And is that going to homeless? No. It could be done cheaper.
So what was it? We only got about a minute left. I mean, what was it that you woke up one morning and you went, God, this isn't working. Somebody's got to challenge this person. Somebody's got to make a difference.
I think it's just in my nature. When I see a challenge, I'm like, all right, let's go. It's not something where I shy away from. I think when that time came, and I think a lot of people during COVID, they had these, like, where did your rights go? Where did your protection go? It was all closed down, shut down. So, and businesses went out of, complete business forever, long time businesses. If we do not protect them and we don't protect the people that are working there, we are definitely going to continue to lose more and more. So those are, I guess for me, that level of like, what are you going to do? Are you going to do something? I was like, yeah, I could do this. I went to the sheriff's department, and that was fun, but I think getting into the next service is definitely more my alley, because I'm the fighter. I will talk with you as well. I have a lot of different aspects that surround me that I can actually do some work.
So if people want to find out more about you online, where do they go?
Go to my website, gipsonforassembly.com, GIPSON, P as in Paul, SON, the number 4 assembly. Go to Instagram for the same one, Gipson for Assembly, Facebook. I'm there. Get a hold of me. I want to talk to you. I want to hear your issues, and let's solve them. Let's work. Let's do this and get California where we don't want to leave here, because people are leaving to all other states, but we got to protect California.
All right. Well, Patrick, it's been great having you here.